see this now. So I want you to be attentive. Because ndo pane prayer point yedu. Elijah achifidwa neshiri nemaravens. Kuseni usiku achidya chingwa nenyama. Nzvimbo yanga ari yanganzi naMwari enda pabhuruku. Unohwanda ipapo. I will command ravens to feed you from there. Andrika. Hanzi yakasvika nguva yekuti drought yanga yaproclaimwa yadeclarewa na Elijah. Yanga yakuaffectwa even nzvimbo location yanga ari. It was no longer a viable location kuti aramba iri. Location, it was good that time, but he had now to move location. Just like some people who I'm talking to right now. Sometimes that place where you are, it sustained you for a certain period. But you have now to be sensitive enough to know that I have now come to the end of my stay in this place. Be it in a country, be it in a town, wherever. Pane nguva zvinhu pazvaifamba uri muarea iyoyo. But now the brook has dried because of the drought that was caused. Which means there's no more water now in that place. Which means if you remain in that place where there's no water, where there's no provision, which means you are going to die there. You are going to suffer in that place. So the word of the Lord is coming to Elijah, saying that this location where you are right now is no longer viable for you. This location is no longer for you. So you have now to move. Listen to me. Some of you have to move now from your current position. You have to move from where you are right now. That place has given you so much. It might be a company where you're working. It has sustained you. But there's a time where you see now the brook has dried up. There are certain moments in your life where you have to be sensitive to know that there is no longer now provision in this area. There is no longer provision in this place. It's time for me to move on now. So many are afraid to move on. So many, they are too scared to move on from their current positions. But I'm here to tell you now that the place where you are, not all of you, but some of you, the brook has dried up. The word of the Lord came now to Elijah, saying, arise. There's a time where you need to arise now. You need to pack your bags and go to a place where God has instructed you to go. So it means your movement has to be based on the word. The Holy Spirit has to be your director. He has to be your guide. So it means you don't move for the sake of moving. You move according to an instruction. It's now time for you to move. Your brook has dried up. Which means even Elijah, when he saw that the brook had dried up, still the word of the Lord had to come to him. Listen to me. Elijah, with his own eyes, looking at the brook, the place where he used to drink water from, him noticing that there is no more water in this brook. There is no more provision. Elijah did not go to God and say there is no more provision, but it is the word of the Lord which came to Elijah. So it means your movement in life has to be based on the word of the Lord. The word of the Lord has to come your way and tell you it's now time for you to move. It's now time for you to go forward. It's now time for you to leave this company. It's now time for you. Listen to me. You don't move for the sake of moving. I'm saying Elijah having eyes like you have, noticing that this place now, it used to bring so much in my life, but it no longer brings anything. I'm struggling in this place. This way, you are struggling in that certain area, in that certain place. But listen, I'm saying that even Elijah, seeing that the brook had dried up, even Elijah, seeing that the brook had dried up, it's not his word that went to the Lord, but it is the word of the Lord that came to him. So it means Elijah was waiting on that voice to say, now is time for you to move. Because it is the voice that brought him into that place in the beginning. So it means you have to allow now that voice again to come and tell you that this is no longer the right place for you. You now have to move. That's where some of you are missing it. Pawasvitswa naMwari izvozvi, wapaona kuti paifaya zvakanaka, but izvozvi hapachaite. You are quick to move you before the word can even come your way. But you have to remember that who brought you even into that place where you are right now? If it was not the voice that you heard, be it a dream, be it somebody came and you interpreted that as the voice of the Lord, but you were brought into that place because of the word of the Lord. So you have to be now wise enough to know that I don't move from this place where I am until I receive the word from the Lord saying that I should now arise. So the problem now, things are getting worse, is because the word came, but you did not interpret that word. The word came to you to say, auchiona kuti pana baba chaiteri wakufana kumuvha sha nzvimbo yauri kugara iyi apa uri kuroja apa uchiona kuti apa pasina kumira mushe una vana vaungorwara every time pane urwere. Haisi nhau yekuti makufana kumuvha here environment yamuri, pane chikonzeresa kuti urwere hurambe huripo pamuri kugara. So wakufana kugona kunzwa manzi the word of the Lord when it comes to you, because inogona kuuya even through those situations ichikuudza. You have to know now how to tell that this is the word of the Lord that has come to me. This is the word of the Lord. You now have to see the word of the Lord even in the situations that you are that are taking place in your life. You know, you have to now interpret that voice even through situations that are coming. So the word of the Lord came to Elijah to say, you have now to move. Arise, go to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon, and dwell there. See, see, I have commanded a widow there to provide for you. I have commanded a widow. I have commanded a widow. I have commanded a widow there to provide for you. So it means Elijah's provision was no longer at the brook. His provision was transported into a certain region, into a certain place. So it means you might be here in Zim and your provision is in South Africa. Your provision is in Zambia. Your provision is in the UK. Your provision is in China. So it means you now have to know, to identify where your provision is. So I have commanded a widow there to provide for you. So it means you now realize that there is no more provision in the place that I am. There is no more profit in this place. which means there's now a certain place where now you have to go, you have to migrate to. And by you migrating into that place, you are going into your provision. Oh my God. You, by your movement, as you move, you are being directed to your provision. You are being directed to where your income is. You are being directed even to where your future wife, your future husband is. You are being directed. So it means there is a place somewhere right now where the things that you are in search of right now, they are there. So it takes you now as an individual to know that it is now time for me to move away from this place. It's time for me to move into my place of provision, into my place where holds the keys, my place where solutions are lying. There's a place like that in your life, but you have to move towards that place. You have to move even to that place, and you will find what you are looking for. So Elijah is being taken to Zarephath, and now there is a lady that has been commanded by the Lord. Paninyaya. So it means God is commanding people in your life. That would be a prayer point. There is God is commanding people right now in your life. People that you don't know. Because Elijah did not know this widow. He was just told that there is a widow which I commanded. Which means your breakthrough is not found even in your relative. Sometimes it is found by people, in people that you don't know, you have no relations with. Amuna ukama, amuzivani, munongosanganiswa nevanhu vausingaziyani, wotoona kuti panapa patone nyaya kamunhu ane dhiri rakatonaka uyu, munhu wausingazivi, but ungononangiswa naye munhu iyeye. Kunangiswa kune customer yausingatozivi kuti icustomer, achitouya ototenga zvinhu zvaunovhunduka nazvo kuti imi zvinhu izvi zvatengwa panapa mwana Mwari vandinzwa muna kuti ndachinetsekana zvakadai so, but wotonangiswa kune munhu. God has commanded people in your life, but the problem is that those people, they are not aware that they've been commanded by God. Being commanded by God, and yet you are not aware that you have been commanded. It might be you right now, I'm talking to you, it might be you have been commanded by God to do something for somebody. God came to you with a commandment to say, go and bless this woman, go and bless this man, go and do this, go and do that. God has commanded you, but you are not sensitive to the commandments of the Lord when they come to you. So imagine there's a person somewhere, somehow right now that is desperately in need of even meal. There's a person, somebody, arikuda hoof 5 kg chaye hoof, but munhu iyeye achinamata Mwari ari kutoudzwa naMwari kunzi ndakakomanda munhu kuti auye achikupa hoof. Ndakakomanda munhu kuti auye achikupa chikafu chauri kuda ichichi, but ko iye wacho akomanda ari kuzviziva here kuti akomandwa. Ndo pari kunetsa apa. Ndo saka tiri kupesana nezvinhu zvedu, tiri kupesana umana nema-answers edu munzira umu, nekuda kwekuti vakakomandwa vacho, they are not aware that they have been commanded, and you are not aware that who has been commanded. Hausi kuziya. Pamwe Mwari kuti pane mukadzi wandikakomanda, but nekuwanda kwakaita vakadzi, woziva kuti ndeupi uyu akomandwa uyu, ndeupi akomandwa kuti andipe hupfu hwandiri kuda, ndeupi akomandwa. ndo pane nyaya apa. Commandment iri kuuya kune munhu asiri aware kuti commandment yasvika. Elijah is being told that I have commanded a widow. This widow, was this the only widow in Zarephath? Was this the only widow? We have to take that deeper. Was this the only widow in Zarephath? How will I know, Lord, that this is the man or this is the woman that you have commanded for my breakthrough? How will I know, Lord? How will I know? How will I know? How will I know? When I meet that person, that this is the person that you have commanded to bring what belongs to me. How will I know, Lord? How will I know? How will I know? This is a prayer. How will I know? Because the Holy Spirit has to help you. Azvigoneke neziso renyama izvi. Haungosvike kune mukadzi unoziva sei kuti widow. Unoziva sei kuti this is a widow. How do you know that? Akamira apa pamukadzi apa. Pane pakanyorwa ere pamhanza kuti this one is a widow. How will I know that this is a widow, Lord, that you have commanded to give me food? How will I know? How will I know, Lord? How? How will I know? There's so much things that I want in life. There's so many things that I desire in life. And I have received it, I know. But I don't have it now. And you come today and you tell me that you have commanded a certain man or a certain woman out there. You have commanded that person to bring me what belongs to me. I am moving even into that place where that person is located. I'm going into that region, into that country where that person is located. How will I now, Lord, identify? How will I, Lord? How will I, Lord, identify the person that has been commanded by you? How will I know? How? I want you to help me today. I want you to help me today, Lord. Because I know the answer is there already. I know the solution to my problem has been given already. But how will I know, Lord? How will I know? I need you, Holy Spirit, even now. I need you, Holy Spirit, to help me identify. When I meet this person, Holy Spirit, let there be a confirmation that this is a person that has been commanded by God to help me. There are helpers that are there right now that are holding on to your provision. They are holding on to the things that you have been praying to God for. Listen to me. This is a prayer point that we have to do. Lord, how will I know? Holy Spirit, help me even today. Help me today, Holy Spirit, to identify these people, to identify this person who you have commanded. I know you have commanded people. I know you have commanded people to assist me. How do I know that this is the person? Hence I meet somebody who has been called by the devil, and that person comes and brings havoc in my life. I don't want to be identified to people that are called by the devil. I want people that are called by you. People that are carrying my breakthrough. People that are carrying what belongs to me. Lord, in this month of April, Holy Spirit, let no one who has been commanded by God pass me by. Let no one who has been commanded by God pass me by. And kusunozojengana nevanhu vane ma commandments aMwari ekundiropafadza. Handisi kuzonojengeswa nevanhu vane mapepa angu vachandibatsira kuti mapepa angu ava anobuda. Kune vanhu right now you are struggling in terms of my papers, even ekubuda kunze kwenyika. Zvakawanda zvakabatwa ari madocuments, mapapers ari kunetsa kuti abude. Vamwe vane mari dzakabatwa dzakasungwa. But ndoenda kuti pane munhu ariko right now that has been commanded by God so that that money can be transacted without hassles, without problems. But you identifying that person, that's why we're having this prayer point, that when you meet that person, the Holy Spirit has to help you so that you know this is the person that has been commanded by God, that you don't pass by that person. Also kunopfura Elijah akati achisvika pagedhi audzwa kuti ndakomanda widi, achikoti achikosvika pagedhi ndokunosangana nemukadzi. Bhaibheri kuti akasangana, and indeed a widow was there. But widow inooneka sei widow? Widow inooneka sei kuti widow? How do you see a widow? Kuti this one is a widow. How do you see that this is a widow? Elijah akangosvika kati mukadzi wangonosangana naye chete. Ndokutanga kutosvisa nyaya yake Elijah. Amai ndipewo mvura. When he came to the gate of the city, indeed a widow was there gathering sticks. And he called to her and said, please bring me a little water in a cup that I may drink. A little water. And as she was going to get it, he called to her and said, please bring me a morsel of bread in your hand. So she said, verse 12, as the Lord your God lives, I do not have bread, only a handful of flour in a bin, and a little of oil in a jar. See, I am gathering a couple of sticks that I may go in and prepare it for myself and my son, that we may eat it and die. Dauti mubatisise chinhu ichi. I have said that iwewe, you could be a person commanded by God to go and help somebody. But your commandment hausati waipika kuti pane kwawakatumwa kuti uende kunoropafadza munhu, uende kunobatsira munhu, ingave nhau yechii. Ndakaenda kata kuti haisi nhau yekuti hapasi pese paunoda kupiwa chemuhomwe kuti choko muhomwe. There are people that you have been commanded to help. Pasina choko muhomwe. People that God has told you, this person, you will meet this person today. You have to help this person. If you don't help this person, that person is going to die. That person so his or her survival is based on you obeying a commandment. An order from God. Which means you obeying an order from God, which means you have saved somebody who was supposed to take his life today. Somebody who was supposed to die, somebody who was going to go through an accident or something. Because you have obeyed a commandment of God and you have helped a certain individual, a certain person, which means you have saved a life. You have saved a life. You have saved a life. Elijah is going to a widow who was ready to die. I want you might be that widow, but I want to show you something here that can help you. Something that I have noticed, that when the person who carries even your blessing arrives, who carries your answer, that person does not come telling you that I have your answer. that person comes akitange akahwandisa answer yako so, but anopresenta chimwe chinhu chisiri answer, anotonga ari kuzopresenta a problem to you. Answer iri mukati make, but kune vanhu vanogona kuisa maproblems pamberi pavo nyamba munhu ane answer maari. There are people like that. So I'm helping you so that you are able even to identify people. A person coming to you, he's presenting this outward appearance. It doesn't look like an answer. The answer is lying within that person. But when that person comes to you, it's like he's coming to aid to your problems. That person is coming to aid to your problems. Arikutoona uzowedzera nhamo dzako. Saka chaunzwa naMwari pamberi pako hachizi obvious kuti ichi chaunzwa naMwari. Chinoya chakafukidzwa neanoita kunge maproblems. Nyamba iwewe wakaregeza kupika manje maproblems, waregeza kupika solution. And you are not sensitive enough, which means you are going to chase away answers in your life. Because you are not good at helping people. All you want is to be helped. All you want is to be helped. All you want is to be helped. But I'm showing you right now that when a person comes your way carrying your answer, sometimes it's not the answer that is in the front. The answer might be there at the back. But what comes first in your life are problems which are brought even by that individual or by that woman. Problems. This way, Elijah achienda kune mkazi huyu. Elijah is arriving with a problem. He's not arriving with a solution. And one munhu ari kunoshikirwa naye, munhu ari kushikirwa kuti ini now I'm going to prepare this meal and I'm going to die. So it means this lady was ready to die. He was prepared to die because of the drought, because of the hunger that was in this land. Kuti hakuna chekudya zviri nani ini nemwana wangu tiite sei. So we are dealing with a person who is ready to die. And a person who is ready to die, we must never play with such a person. So uri kuwanikwa une problem yako iwewe. My helpers are kuya ndinzwe apa izvozvo. Lauti one chinhu ichi. The helpers that are coming your way right now. Iwewe, you have a problem that you have. You are going through things in your life as well. Une nhamo dzako dzauri kutofesa wewe. And hakuna chinhu chinobva kuti iwe uri munhamo yako. Kuyo munhu ari kuda kutowedzera nhamo pamusoro penhamo yako. Chii chomboitika pakadaro? Une zvauri kuenda through. And you are saying you are not in the best place to help even somebody. I have people like that. You are going through a lot. You are also praying to God. You say, God, I no longer have anything in my house. Instead of you getting an answer, it's like you are getting more problems from people. Amenga kuna vanhu vakadaro vanombozve experience kuti paunenge uri munguva yako yekurwadziwa kunoenda kunouya umwe munhu futi anoda kuuya achikuudzawo marwadzo ake kwauri ouya kuzokuwedzera. And sometimes you don't react in a proper way. Unoreacta nefrustration. Vashoma vanogona kureacta zvakanaka. Unotosura wotoudza munhu rafu kuti iwe tiri kunetsekana tese mhani munomu. Wakuzoti nhamo yako yazokosha upfura yangu chii. I'm going through a lot. We have people who say that. I'm going through a lot. I don't need your problems in my life. I cannot add more problems in